guys, welcome to another day of quarantine. It's May the 6th, I think. Couple things. This is important that you pay attention to this video, especially if you're looking for changes in grades and things like that. We've been given the go-ahead by the district to go ahead and use what you're doing during this quarantine time period to help improve your grades. So this is super, super important because this means if you have like a B and you want to go to an A, you can use what you've done in this quarantine to get yourself to an A. So the way that I'm going to handle it is I'm going to be giving you guys 5 points a day for 5 points for every assignment you complete with me during quarantine. And I'm going to actually go all the way back to the beginning, to the very first things that I posted where I asked a question, even though they were things like, oh, compare this to the 1918 epidemic that happened, the Spanish flu. So all the way back to there, if you have completed it, not just checked it off, because there's some of you who are hitting done, but not actually doing the work. So if you've completed it and you have a check next to you, I'll give you 5 points for that. So for some of you who already have A's, you might be ending up with a pretty good supersized A plus. But some of you who might have a C or a B who are looking to bring things up, this can bring you up. I cannot bring you down in a grade at all, but I can bring you up. So I want you guys to be aware of that. Because for some of you, you might be just kind of looking and watching and paying attention and seeing stuff and choosing to do things. But now you know that it can have a really big major impact on your grade and it can bring you up, especially if you're one of the people going, well, how can I bring my grade up? Because some of you have asked, some of you have redone assignments. This is an easy way just to be like, check, I did it. Check, I did it. And there's nothing in here that I'm giving you that should take more than like 20 or 30 minutes at the most. I shouldn't be giving you more than about an hour's worth of work per week. Okay. So that's the first thing that I wanted to tell you. Make sure you guys know that you guys have the ability to now bring up your grade with the work that you're doing. What you're going to see is an extra credit category that says quarantine or distance learning. And you'll see in the comments section the number of assignments you've completed, and then that will multiply times 5, and that will give you your point value. It's going to be different than the other extra credit column, but it has the same effect, okay? Because I don't curve your grades at all. There's math involved, but you can just add the points and see how much of a difference it's going to make. So that's the first thing that I want to make sure I talked about. The second thing is involving the Renaissance. So we've talked about Renaissance thinkers and how people have changed their ideas about the world, changed how a lot of art came to be. A lot of you guys have asked questions. I've answered questions and things like that. From that time period, you also get a development in scientific thinking. So before this time period, you get sick, and they assume you have what's called miasma, which is basically bad air. They kind of have an idea that there's something going through the air, especially with the plague and things, but they don't really understand that there's actually bacteria, or that there's actually like small microscopic things at all, cells even. Until the scientific revolution, which happens kind of in the Renaissance, and then all of a sudden they start developing things like microscopes, where they're actually able to see smaller objects and they're actually able to study things. So scientific thinking starts to open up. And yes, religion is still super important, you guys. Just because science gets there doesn't mean religion isn't important. It's very important. And a lot of these guys are now looking and saying, all right, well, how can we use science to kind of confirm what's going on with religion? Okay, so these guys are not going against religion. They're actually using it to confirm. And so the scientific thinking comes out, and it is just like mind-blowing. And you have some people, though, like Galileo, who, and we'll talk about him later because he's kind of awesome, who stand up against the church and just go, nope, you're not right. No, no, no. So some of these thinkers, even though a lot of them are religious and using their religion and trying to confirm things with science, the church isn't necessarily happy about it either. So We're gonna get into that, but first today I'm gonna post something where you're gonna look at a bunch of different scientific thinkers that come out during the time, including Galileo, and you're just gonna tell me about a couple, like a sentence or two, what they're known for. Okay, what they discovered. Okay, and from there we're gonna kind of dive deep into just a couple of them and that conflict that develops between the church and science. And that's about it. So, if you're talking to your friends again, please make sure you let them know that their assignments are now, at least for Miss Holden, every teacher's doing it differently. Going to be able to get them about 5 points per assignment of extra credit. It doesn't sound like a lot, but man, that adds up really fast, you guys, because you're talking a lot of points. And then I'm going back to the beginning. So if you haven't done stuff from the beginning, or if you've missed things, you can go back and check them off and get them done. All right, guys? So be safe, be healthy. Again, contact me. Let me know if you need anything at all, or if you just want to, like, hey, Miss Holden, what's up? Okay, I miss you guys terribly. And be safe, you guys. Bye.